These are 5 things that I think you should never share with anyone. And I learned a couple of these the hard way, and I don't want you to go through that pain. So let's jump in and I'll share my list. The first one is talking to people about your salary or your savings. In my opinion, that's on a need-to-know basis. And the reason why is when 2 people get together and they talk about how much they're making or how much they've saved, there's usually one person that's going away disappointed, angry, hurt, or jealous, and there's really very little to be gained. Now, I retired as a financial advisor. I needed to know how much my clients had saved and how much they were making so that I could help them. A mortgage broker needs to know that, and an estate planning attorney needs to know that. That's why I say it's on a need-to-know basis. The next one can bite you, and unfortunately, you're giving the other person a lot of power if you choose to share this with them. That is if you're thinking of quitting your job or retiring from your job. Why take that risk? If you give a colleague at work that power over you, letting them know you're upset and thinking of quitting, you don't want anybody to know that until you decide it's time to share it. Now, it might be a good time to share with your organization once you've got your ducks in a row. Maybe you'd like to stay if it weren't for a couple of things that bother you, and you've decided it's the right time to share. Now, it might be a good time to share with your organization once you've got your ducks in a row. Maybe you'd like to stay if it weren't for a couple of things that bother you, and you've decided it's the right time to share. At that point, that can be a powerful thing that helps you get the changes you need so you can be successful at the company, for yourself and for the company. But to just tell somebody randomly that you're thinking about quitting or retiring in 2 years gives that person a lot of power. I want you to share when it's right for you to share. Let me give you an example. For instance, retiring. If an organization knows you're planning on retiring, they may say, "Hey, we heard you're thinking about retiring. For our planning purposes, how does your end date sound?" And you might say, "Yeah, that sounds good." Well, when does your company give out bonuses? A lot of times, bonuses for the previous year are given out in January or February of the following year. You don't want to be forced out. You want to choose the timing of when you're going to go, or at least have as much control over that as possible, whether retiring or quitting. Let's keep going. The next one is something I learned as a financial advisor working with attorneys. I'm not an attorney, but I've seen people give powers of attorney to other folks, typically family members, trusting that person to keep their best interest in mind. There may be a time that you need a power of attorney, which allows somebody else to execute legal documents and make legal and financial decisions on your behalf. There may be a time where you have a stroke and lose the capacity to do that yourself. Short of that, giving somebody that level of control unless it's absolutely necessary can be dangerous. If you think you need a power of attorney, have your attorney work with you. Your attorney, not somebody else's. Even if a child says, "Hey mom, hey dad, I need a power of attorney for this reason, and you can talk to my attorney." No, you want to talk to your attorney, someone who has a fiduciary duty to you. Again, I'm not an attorney, this isn't legal advice, and it's not financial advice. Number 4 is what you think of your boss or people you dislike, or maybe even hate. There's a really small circle of people who need to know that. Regarding your relationship with your boss, confiding in your spouse is perfectly fine, but letting anyone at work know, or even letting your kids know, who knows? Maybe your boss comes over for dinner. A 10-year-old doesn't have the discretion, and even a 16 and 18 or 22-year-old may not either. The same goes for coworkers or neighbors you dislike. You don't want that information getting out. If you decide to release it, you want to release it in a way that's right for you. I've seen this bite people and cause really stressful situations, and in some cases even force someone to change jobs. Once something like that leaks out to your boss, it only has downside and no upside. You want your boss to think you're doing a good job, to like you, and to be rooting for you. Bosses are human. They have strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes those weaknesses can be tough. The last thing you want is that information getting out in a loose way. I've had some mental health challenges myself. When COVID first started, it created anxiety for me for the first time in my life. I went to a professional, and I'm glad I did. I was pretty open about that. But if you have a long-term mental health condition that isn't event-driven, that can work against you. It can keep you from getting a job, or a company may look for other reasons to let you go. Unfortunately, that's the reality in many places. Better, faster, cheaper, and perceptions matter. I don't want that to work against you. That's why I have some hesitation even mentioning this one, because I believe in reducing stigma, but you also need to protect yourself. Now, I said there was going to be a bonus. The bonus is never share passwords with people. Maybe your spouse, maybe an adult child, but even then, be careful. There are password managers available, and this is something I've worked hard on over the last 2 years. I now use commercially available password software, and I really like it. If I need to share a password, I can do it through the software without the other person actually seeing the password. That's important, especially if you reuse passwords. Your email is the keys to the kingdom, so be really careful. So those are the 5 things never to disclose, plus one bonus. If you enjoyed this video, I think the next video you'll enjoy is the one the YouTube algorithm picked just for you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.